Atletico Madrid then taking a 2-1 advantage going into that second leg in Germany next week. Luis Garcia is with us. As is Jan Aage Fjortfoft. Jan, I want to start with you. 2-1, not bad actually, if from a Dortmund perspective, considering how things started.
Yeah, it's a good point how it started, because first of all, we saw in this game it was the fourth in La Liga playing the fifth in the Bundesliga. Because imagine being Dortmund, you're going to Madrid, 70,000, Diego Simone, intense pressing. So here is the idea. We start playing from the back in the 3rd minute, and we play to Madsen, who make an outside pass in somewhere that he doesn't see, 1-0. Then Hummels and Schlotterbeck, they're out of the German national team. Wow, we have an international stage to show us, hey, Nagelsmann, you can bring us to the European Championship. And they do a misunderstanding that you can't do on this level. So that is 2-0 down. But again, we saw Atletico Madrid from old would have killed that game off, because Brandt came on, he did okay, there were some good situations there for them, and at the end you have to say that Dortmund deserved to get that goal. As we saw, they could be even luckier to get a 2-2. That wouldn't have been deserved. I think Atletico had the little nod ahead of them. But I think that from the moral of Dortmund, you never know, as Craig was saying, you never know which Dortmund team will turn up. There was a team turn up in first half. In the second half, they arrived at the airport in Madrid, was driven to the stadium, and then another team come out. That is the definition of Dortmund. But still, as I started, this is two of the weakest teams in the quarterfinals, and one of them will go to the semis.
They most certainly will. Simeone would be frustrated, wouldn't he, Luis, giving up the 2-goal lead like that?
Yeah, I think so, a little bit, because I think the way the game started, fantastic intensity, the atmosphere that the Metropolitano creates definitely pushes the players, and I think it surprised a little bit the players from Dortmund that they couldn't see anything happening apart from conceding that first goal. And we saw that with Lino, chance later in the second half. It could have been the third one for Atletico Madrid, but as you know, guys, with Atletico Madrid, there is always a drama. There is no easy games. There is no easy knockouts. So there is always something that they have to be fight for, and that's the way it is. Atletico Madrid, and the moment that they go ahead, they start sitting deep. I think with the changes of Borussia Dortmund, with the white players, 3 white players, and the hard work that they did in the first 45 minutes with that intensity, pressure everywhere on the pitch. So you make a lot of efforts, and I think the players got a little bit tired, and they went right out of legs in the last part of the game. And then, of course, Borussia Dortmund kind of dominates you, submits you. In the end, they found that goal that makes them believe that they can go through to the semi-finals. But definitely, I think that Simeone must be a little bit disappointed with that result, because they had that 3-0 in their hands, and they blew it away.
But no, it's like if you're Dortmund, you know, a couple of things are in your favour. It's not like the Inter game for Atleti, where the first game was away from home.
Yep. They
scraped something out of it. It was 1-0. It should have been 3 or 4 for Inter, but it wasn't, and that was down to them. And then they get this crowd behind them at home in the second leg, and it's a much different performance. For Dortmund, you know, they've travelled obviously to Madrid. They've had the possession. They've made a couple of mistakes, but they're still in there. And now they have this Atleti side coming to Germany, so it's the opposite way around for them, which I think works better for Dortmund. But also, it's not the Atleti that you might think, if you don't watch La Liga and you think, oh, I've seen Atleti a few times over the last few years, they really can do a 0-0. They can't. No. They can't. I mean, you look back at the recent results in domestic Spanish football, they can barely keep a clean sheet. It's been ages since they've kept a clean sheet. That's not how they are anymore. So if I was Dortmund, I would be particularly pleased, not with the way I made mistakes tonight, but the fact we're in this game, and this is not an Atleti side that has found it easy to keep clean sheets, particularly away from home. And for those reasons, I think this is a 50-50 call, because Jan mentioned you don't know what Dortmund's turning up. Certainly since Christmas time, you really don't know what Atleti side is turning up.
Who's going through, Jan?
Well, again, Dortmund, there's going to be another Bundesliga round, as there will be a La Liga round. I think that there's going to be some decisions to be made now. I think Füllkrug didn't play that well. Brandt came on, so that depends on that as well. We're talking about Atletico can't play 0-0, but it's not like like people going now to the yellow wall and think that they will come at them. You saw they lost against Stuttgart in the last round. With my half German heart, I will say that Dortmund go through.
Okay, that's I knew we were going there. And now, now Luis is going to take us on to a journey as to why Atleti are going through.
Honestly, I thought that in the beginning of this tie that Borussia Dortmund they were favourites because they were going to play the second leg at their own stadium. I think that is massive difference in this kind of knockouts. Right now, there is that balance because Atletico Madrid is going to go there with an advantage of 1 goal, and that gives you, it's true that, and I totally agree with Craig, they struggle so much to keep the clean sheet, to keep the goal without conceding, and that's something that the Atletico Madrid is going to continue working on. But it's true that Borussia Dortmund, when they start bringing and committing players forward, they leave a lot of spaces, they leave so many spaces at the back, and that's something that Atletico Madrid can use with Correa, with Sam Molino, as we've seen today, that it was very, very good in the first 45 minutes on the wide area, also into the middle, with Nahuel on the right side. Griezmann, we saw today that he's back on his best, and if he's in the right shape and in the right state of mind with that confidence, I think that Atletico Madrid has a little bit of advantage. So
there we go.
55-45 for Atletico Madrid.
That's where we were going. That's exactly
they
where
want to win. They want to win.
No, I know they did. I know. You've got the German heart, the Spanish heart, the cold heart, the black heart.
I would say no heart. There you go. What do you want to know?
Who's going through? You said 50-50.
Did you not hear my very
You said 50-50?
My very passionate plea to the Dortmund's positivity and how they can really get at this Atleti defence.
Yeah, but that doesn't say who's going through.
Well, ask me who's going through.
Who's going through?
Atleti.
So thank you very much, Craig Burley.